After years of preparation, a vacant unit tax that was set to pass in Hamilton yesterday fell flat. Some councillors voted against the bylaw, while others who weren't even present are now saying the result is shocking and unprofessional. Eric Viano explains.
So that is defeated. 6-6-1.
Shock in City Hall yesterday as a vacant unit tax bylaw, which was set to be enacted, was voted down in a surprise 6-6 vote with one abstention.
I'm a little bit at a loss at words still. It was so unprecedented. I don't want to speak disparagingly of any of my council colleagues. It just came across very unprofessional.
Ward 3 councillor Nrinder Nann was absent when the vote took place due to a family member in the hospital. She says she fully expected the bylaw, which would see owners of vacant properties in the city charged a 1% tax, to pass.
In a reality that we're all facing in this city of facing an extreme housing crisis, we need every single vacant unit that's available to be occupied by Hamiltonians and to be rented out.
Ward 2 councillor Cameron Crutch and Ward 15 councillor Ted McMeekin were also absent. Crutch was not available for an interview today, but posted on X expressing his disappointment. Councillors who were present and voted in favor of the bylaw are equally surprised.
The vacant unit tax has already been deliberated by council, voted on, and ratified. So it's a decision council has made. So really, yesterday's vote, if you want to call it that, is just a consent item. Up until this term, we have not experienced anyone voting against an enabling bylaw. So that's why it was rather strange and disappointing.
The councillors who voted against the bylaw include Tom Jackson, Esther Pauls, Brad Clark, Jeff Beattie, Mike Spadafora, and Matt Francis. Francis points to confusion among residents over how it works and fears that they could be mistakenly taxed even though they live in their homes.
I got hundreds and hundreds of angry calls and emails. Oppose this thing. So I've been consistent from day one with my vote to oppose this current iteration of the vacant unit tax. Like I said, I have nothing wrong. There's no issues with a vacant unit tax. There's an issue with this particular vacant unit tax and how it's being implemented.
The vacant unit tax is currently in place in some cities across the country, including in Toronto. Toronto councillor Brad Bradford says there were more vacant units in the city than expected.
About 1% of our housing stock, and that ended up generating $54 million of revenue for the city. But again, I remind folks, if the policy does its job, over time, we'll see that number come down. There will be less and less revenue because more and more people will be renting out those vacant units and making sure that housing is being used as housing.
A representative from the city of Hamilton tells CHCH News that staff met today to discuss next steps. The bylaw will be discussed again at the next council meeting next month. Eric Viano, CHCH News, Hamilton.